Hello and welcome to the IABC Webmaster webinar for September of 2015. This is our third quarter update for you, and we're going to be covering one more this year, and then we're on to 2016. Time's flying when we're having fun. Thank you all very much for joining us, Webmasters. I'm going to let a few minutes pass by here and just talk about some general things while we wait for everybody to get online. And what we're going to be talking about today, of course, includes reminders, what you need to know, what you need to do. And then we're going to go into video today. We're going to talk about basics on how to shoot, produce, and publicize video over the web. And we're going to go into, after that, a little hosting reminder. All of your hosting accounts are due on October 15th, 15 October of 2015. And if you don't pay that fee, if you're hosted with us, we have problems and you'll experience some service issues. And so we don't want to have that happen. I know how it goes in a volunteer-led organization. You just received an email reminder today. And if you have not received that email reminder, and if you do host with BusyWeb for your website, we'll be getting in touch more frequently as the days go by here. But please do get ahead of it and take care of your hosting account so that we can keep your service up and running. We'll go through some news and updates. And of course, if you have questions, this is going to be a super interactive event today, I hope. And in order to do that, if you're at chaptersite.com, if you followed the link to get you online, we'd love to have you ask questions via the Google Hangout. I'm going to show you how to do that now. If you're watching from either the main page of chaptersite.com or if you're on the actual page for this event, the video that's embedded right here, you can certainly press play on and watch. However, if you would like to ask questions during this event, what you need to do is under number 1 above the video embed, you're going to want to click on this Google Plus link that I have highlighted. So if you click on Google Plus, it's going to pop up with a new window that looks just like this. You'll notice that it says Q&A and live. If you go to this play button and click on it, it's going to open up a new window. And I'm going to press pause on here so you don't hear me twice. But if you then get into this window, provided that you have a Google account of some sort, you can click the green button to ask a new question. I do have a couple of questions that chapter webmasters have sent in advance, and we will be sure to handle those. But go ahead and click this Ask a New Question button, and then you can ask a question here. And so if you ask those questions, we'll be able to see them. I will mark when I'm answering them so that you have that for perpetuity. We'll also send out a link to the replay of this, or you can come back to Chapter Site at any time to watch. One word of caution as you're watching this webinar, if you do experience delays or stutters, it's probably your video connection. And so what I'd ask you to do is either scroll back in time by going backwards in the timeline to rewind a little bit, or if you're having a lot of troubles, I would encourage you just to go back to it after a little while. And you can always send us in questions at IABC@busyweb.com, and we'll cover that again as well in a little bit. But if you need to watch the replay on YouTube, we have operators standing by here to make sure that we're not having any technical issues. So if there is any issues, unless I'm mentioning that there's an issue, it's probably you, not us, unfortunately. So thank you all very much. I know we have folks from all over the world that are attending today, and so I want to get right to it to take advantage of what we know and share some learning with you today to make your job as a webmaster as easy as possible. All right, let's get back into it. So again, we know what we're going to do today. Here's who BusyWeb is. We were founded in '99 and we're based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, right in the heart of the US of A. We have a team of 15 folks and we serve clients all over the world. What we focus on is online marketing and web design. We do a lot of web hosting, focusing specifically on WordPress, and our web design offerings are also specifically designed around WordPress. That's all that we do, and we're very, very good at it, which is how we wound up with you. We also do online marketing, and as a matter of fact, if you need help with search engine optimization, content marketing, pay-per-click ads, email marketing, or of course a web design for your personal company or your business, we do offer a portion of the proceeds of that to the IABC Research Foundation. So you can help support IABC by working with BusyWeb. We are here because I'm a longtime volunteer with IABC. That's me up there talking at the Gold Quill Gala in Chicago in 2012. And I ran the Gold Quill program recently in 2012, and I was chapter president in Minnesota, 2009 and 10. We won International Chapter of the Year for that stint. And when IABC needed some help because they replaced some IT staff and needed external help, they looked to BusyWeb to help bring that in. And as of October of 2013, we were hired to manage those chapter sites. And right now we have about 43, 44 chapter websites under management. And we try to help folks as much as humanly possible. Don't often have very many issues, but when we do, we like to get all over that and keep things rolling cleanly. All right, that's enough about us. Let's get on to you and what we can do today. Wanted to get right into the content for today, and then be sure to hang on to get some reminders and some details on how you can get support and help from BusyWeb as part of your hosting agreement. All right, so first with video, there's some rules of thumb. Of course, if you want to get found, there's a lot of video producers and publications out there. But the biggest one of all time is YouTube. And YouTube, surprise, surprise, is owned by Google. The #1 search engine, of course, in the world is Google. You might be surprised what the #2 search engine is. It is actually YouTube. So if you want to get found and rank well for your website and for your keywords on your website, having properly indexed and optimized videos from YouTube is one of the best ways to do it. You want to do that by creating a channel. And when you create that channel, you'll be youtube.com/c/your channel name. And very simple and easy. There's a lot of tutorials out there on that. If you need help with it, go ahead and get a hold of us. But the key is in the descriptions and in the taglines, you can actually add tags and descriptions to your videos. Make sure that you're using the keywords for what you want to get found for. We'll go through this a little bit more in our demo, which we'll do after the rest of the content today. But I'll run you through what a YouTube channel looks like and how it works. But let's talk about some basic video tenets before we get further. So really, you have to know what's video worthy before you do much video. If you have action and complex stories, video is a brilliant tool for doing that. And if you want to personalize your company, your organization, the IABC chapter, your products or services, that's a great way to do so. One of the things that we love doing in our chapter, and I remember one time with IABC Minnesota, we had Shell Holtz coming in, and I interviewed Shell over the web, and we did a brief Google Hangout, and he talked a little bit about why you should attend the big annual gala with Shell Holtz in attendance. And so we talked about that. It was a 30 to 45 second video and worked brilliantly, had a few hundred views, and that actually helped drive quite a bit of traffic and registrations to our event. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do inside of YouTube videos as well, including tagging content, adding cards or links inside of your video. So you can have little pop-ups that ask people to click or to check out more information. And that's a brilliant and super easy way to really bridge and reach out to the organizations and the searchers that you're trying to reach. It's an easy way to share. YouTube is incredibly easy to use, and lots of things are easy to connect with when you're inside of YouTube. Actually, you can trim and base content. You can add some text. You can add a closed captioning file inside of it, which is also very good for search engine optimization because Google then knows that text. But super easy, and make sure that you have at least decent quality content when you're publishing video, because you can be judged very quickly and easily inside of video production. As far as length and content of video, you're going to want to keep your content as short as possible and think visually. If you have a video on your homepage that you're going to keep on your video on your homepage, 30 to 45 seconds is the max for that, really. And if you've got a basic tutorial or a demo, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And then if you have a complex topic, 30 to 45 minutes is about the max upside on here. Our busy webinars and our IABC Webmaster webinars, we typically try to keep it under 30 to 45 minutes for exactly that reason. It just gets really tough if you go beyond that to endure that much seat time for a viewer. So make sure that you edit your video, you add transitions, labels, and banners, but don't get crazy with your iMovie or your video editor of choice and add all kinds of swoops and splashes and slashes. Really, a fade cut is about all you'll need to do. And make sure that you're just thinking visually, work forward from your script, and then you'll do fine. If you're going to put a video on your homepage, by the way, or anywhere, make sure that that video is not set to autoplay. For people, especially that are in corporate environments, it's really annoying to have a video play as soon as you visit that page. So I would be very careful with that. As far as equipment, really, the HD video is coming along quite well. You can get HD video out of any iPhone or Android device now. With the new 6S and 6S Plus in particular, you can shoot stabilized HD 4K video now, and that's all within devices that we carry in our pockets every day. It's just getting pretty ridiculous, honestly, on the quality of video that you can shoot with handheld devices. But you need to compensate for some of the things that small handheld devices don't do. For lighting, you need to use a really good light source if you're going to shoot quality video, and make sure that you have a front-facing light on your video. And by that I mean the camera should be in front of your lights so that it's shot from the back. It should be illuminating you and your face or your subject. You don't want to ever shoot yourself with a light source behind you, because that will darken you significantly and or wash out the video. So make sure that you're shooting from backlighting and that you're using good technology on that. Especially on audio. You might notice that my audio is just a little bit echoey right now. I'm using a very nice podcasting mic called a Blue Yeti, actually. And it's a brilliant microphone, but you have to keep your mouth very, very close to that microphone in order for it not to get very echoey. I can actually demonstrate this by backing up and away. I'm now about 2 feet away from the microphone, and you can probably tell that it's quite echoey. And then if I bring myself in front of the microphone properly, all of that echo fades away. If you're going to do audio, especially even if you're going to be shooting something on an iPhone or an Android, just get a cheap lavalier mic. Tape that or clip that onto your shirt sleeve or your collar, and use that to get right in front of it. And even with a cheap lavalier mic that's plugged into your iPhone, you can shoot wonderful audio if it's nice and close to you. So think about your background surroundings. If you're going to shoot in front of a freeway or something that's moving and distracting, that is going to distract your viewer from getting much done or from being able to pay attention to your content. And there's all kinds of wonderful things you can do with animations, but don't get caught up with the candy and lose the message. When you need to go to a pro is usually when you need to have a green screen, when you're displaying content or backgrounds, and if you need pro quality audio and video with polish. If you are trying to present yourself as a professional firm, having a video of you that you shot with an iPhone held at arm length on a conference table where you're just kind of rambling on is a much different experience than if you shoot things with quality animations, quality connections, and that's properly fixed up. So if you don't work from a script, and if you don't work with the right kinds of cuts and fades and the right kind of equipment, you're not going to look as professional as you might want to. Now, for a lot of social sharing, that really doesn't matter. If you're going to share a video on YouTube, fine. It's not a big deal. But if you have complex projects, storytelling, if you need to shoot a lot of people in a short amount of time and get all of that content put together in one big file, you may be better off just going to a professional. And video really isn't as expensive as it used to be. With a lot of these folks, a reasonable price for a video that's around 1 to 2 minutes in length, which is a normal kind of blog video, is between $500 and $1,500. So very inexpensive. You can then easily embed video in your website. And all the way back to WordPress 4.0 about a year ago, you could actually just simply paste the URL from YouTube into your account or into your WordPress powered website which again, if you're an IABC webmaster on this call, there's a 99.9% chance that you're on WordPress. So all you need to do is grab the URL from YouTube, paste it into your post, and your video is automatically going to pop up. It's going to have an open preview, and you'll be able to see exactly what you're doing as far as your video. One word of caution: when you're updating YouTube videos and when you're posting them, unless you have a very collaborative and you're lucky environment, you're going to want to uncheck the show related videos. What I've found in the past is that some of those related videos can tend to be either competitors of yours, or even worse, could be something embarrassing or kind of racy. I've had clients that have used online videos and they kept that on by accident, and it wound up with some alternative lifestyle kind of marijuana enhanced videos. And so that's obviously not something that you'd want along with your corporate account of your videos. So again, be careful what you do, and make sure that you're loading them and tending to them properly. As far as your YouTube channel, you just go to page setup under your Google account, and you just create a YouTube account, and then you can tie in Google Plus in order to connect up Hangouts on Air. That's what you're watching this video on right now. This is what's called a Hangout on Air, and Hangouts for Google is the audio and video chat tool. The on air portion, you need to have a Google Plus page, and you need to have that page associated with a corporate Google or YouTube account. When you do that, all you do is create a Hangout on Air. You click the on air button, you publish, or you click go live. You run your event, view it on your camera, on your phone, or on your laptop. You can share graphics and screens like I'm doing right now. And when you're done, you click publish or you click close, and it's instantly a YouTube video. You can then edit it, edit your keywords, edit your content, and everything's up and happy. When you're publishing your YouTube channel, your header size should be 2560 by 1440. You're not going to use most of that, but Google or YouTube is pretty easy about sharing what's really good. Generally, your text and logo safe area should be about 1545 by 423. And then, the 2560 by 1440 is for when viewed on TVs, on large screen TVs. As far as search engine optimization on video, you're going to want to add keywords and descriptive titles to your videos. So you get descriptions inside of every video. And then at the end, you can add categories after you've published that video. If you're doing a Google Hangout on Air, you can go into that after the event is over and edit that and update it. We do that with all of our videos. And again, if you want to get best optimization and ranking, there's a lot of video tools out there, but YouTube is really the king of the hill if you want to get found. Link to your page and embed it on your site. Again, all you need is the YouTube URL, and it'll go magically up as a embeddable, clickable video on your WordPress-powered website. If you want to share those videos, very simple and easy to just simply publish them either on Instagram with social video sharing. It's owned by Facebook. It works really nice, and you can add filters to your video on that. With Facebook, you can embed those videos in timelines. One key word of caution with all of these social networks is, especially on the Facebook video feed or the timeline feed, as you're scrolling up, especially on mobile devices, that video will autoplay, but it's not going to have the audio up automatically. As a matter of fact, if you publish on the Facebook platform, that video will guaranteed automatically start scrolling and let you click to play the full video. Sometimes, in my experience, YouTube uploaded videos don't always autoplay, and you instead have to click on them. So if you're designing your video to be shared on social media, make sure that you don't have dramatic fades in from black or use a lot of voiceover or focus on audio only, because 9 times out of 10, people aren't going to hear the audio. And if you have a dramatic fade, they're likely to just keep scrolling by your video before they ever get a chance to get drawn in. So make sure that you do that. You can also embed video in tweets. And of course, if you're into Twitter, you probably know about Vine. That's the 6-second looping video tool that you can use on social media. That's very good for really kind of engaging, fun, and interesting, creative stuff. Vine is probably the most creative out of all the social network video sharing tools. So that's it for video sharing. And what I want to get into is just kind of give another chance to ask a question. We have a bunch of viewers now in, so if you do have a question, again, remember that you can simply ask that new question here. If you missed that as you were logging in, inside of the event today, there's an embedded video that you probably checked out right here. If you're watching from this window, right above that under number 1, there's a link to Google Plus right here as highlighted. If you click on that, and if you have a Google Plus account, you can click on that and it's going to open up a window that looks just like this. Click the green Ask a New Question button and you can ask me anything under the sun. I do have a couple of questions that we'll save for the Q&A at the end, but let's keep trucking so that we can get through all of our content today in a short amount of time. All right, so that's video. And again, I'm going to demo, as long as I'm in here and I'm sharing video, this is what a YouTube channel looks like. You can set up playlists. And we have video playlists for client trainings, buzz builders, seminars, BusyWeb interviews. We've got BusyWeb talks. We've got a specific playlist that's not listed as public for IABC webinars that we have embedded on the chapter site website. But as you go through here, you can browse playlists. You can do things very simply and easily and recommend things out. BusyWeb does our webinars all the time, actually once a week at least, and I've done 3 today. So as you do these, it's a great way to integrate and connect. So as we look at this one says live now because it's live on YouTube right now. This is an event that we published just earlier today. And then inside of here, I can actually edit this video and go in. But you can see, here's the description, and then there are keywords that are associated with that inside of the edit function of the video. I'm not going to click inside of that because I don't want to end our webinar here today, but you can actually go in and there's just tags underneath here. When you do that, it's very simple and easy to connect up and to cross-promote that video. You're going to want to give it the right category and then give it the right tags for everything that you're looking for. So that's overall basics on online video. Let's go back then to our seminar and get into what you need to know about Busy hosting and your website and maintenance. First, what you need to know is that you need to renew your chapter's website hosting account very, very soon. I would encourage you to please send in that check or that credit card payment today. Hosting for chapters renews on 15 October of 2015. That's middle of next month or just about 3 weeks away. Make sure that you're going to renew to maintain your benefits. With BusyWeb, we do hosting, of course, but we also include a couple hours of support inside of that. So if you have questions or need plugins enhanced or minor changes, if somebody on the volunteer staff needs help with something, we'll take care of that for you. We also update all of the plugins on your WordPress website, and we monitor for safety concerns and issues. We've had a few chapters over the past couple of years that have had hacking issues, and we've been able to get those cleaned up as part of what we do for the hosting of the chapter. If you work with GoDaddy or some other tool, you're kind of on your own. And we also have a bunch of really cool tools that you can get, including the social network auto poster that we've talked about a few times in these IABC chapter webmaster webinars. And if you want more detail about that, just click down from the home page to review the videos. And there's a lot of details on how to set up Snap for your chapter so that you can auto post anything on your website to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and to integrate YouTube. We sent out an email today to your chapter. If you did not receive an email as the chapter webmaster from BusyWeb, please do get a hold of us at iabc@busyweb.com to make sure that you get that clickable invoice. And from that invoice, all you need to do is pay it. It's either $500 for the basic hosting, or for platinum hosting, it's $1,000 a year, and that includes twice as much data, details, and support. Keep that going, though. We want to make sure that you don't get a suspension in service. We're going to be very hardlined about this. If you miss your date, we're going to have to pause your website, and that's never good for anybody. But make sure to send that in, please. And now that we're done with the begging for cash, let's go into how to request support. First, if you go to chapter.com or chaptersite.com/support, you can very easily send in your support request. It just asks for what the issue is, upload a screenshot of that if you have an issue, and tell us what you're looking for. Or you can simply email iabc@busyweb.com. Things that are supported include password resets, monitoring and maintaining the website, WordPress software and plugin updates for the approved list of plugins. If you have some kind of wacky, crazy thing that's going to break your website, we will certainly help you with that, but we're going to have to charge our hourly time for that. Search engine optimization to activate that site-wide. We take care of that. We'll install the social media integration tool, including Snap. We won't set it up for you, but there's a tutorial that we've done over this chapter Webmaster webinar before, so it's very simple and easy, and it'll take you about a half hour to do. And then we also do spam screening, removal and blocking, site backups, malware scanning, and uptime monitoring. If your chapter website goes down, we usually know about it before you do. What's not supported, however, are content updates. We won't make posts on your website for you. We'd be happy to, but we'll charge you for it. And that applies to all of these things. Design updates. Again, we've redesigned a number of chapter websites. And as a matter of fact, IABC Chicago just went up within the past week. So congratulations to Chicago. Form updates, non-supported plugins. If you have some kind of crazy, wacky thing that works for you and you love, but is going to break your site in some way, or is supported by, some crazy person somewhere, we would love to help you with it, but we're going to have to charge for the time, and it usually takes a good amount of time to handle that. So please go to the supported plugin list at chaptersite.com under the support button, and that'll tell you what you should have on your website. And we've automatically installed all of those tools on most of the chapter sites, unless it would break something. Hacking of user accounts or non-supported plugins. If your account or if your website is compromised because of something that happens, if you have a user on your website that has a password that is password, or Snickers, or let me in 123, we would love to help you fix that site, but we can't just handle that for free, and so we'd love to help. Gold and platinum accounts do have those general hours that can be used towards any of the above. So if you do have issues with that, we'll take care of it for you for free up until we run out of time. If you need to upgrade plugins and software, first let BusyWeb handle that for you. That's what we're there for. If your site is not updated for some reason on a specific thing, first thing to know is that we usually update feature releases quarterly and then security releases immediately. So if there's a feature release and it's been a little while, don't worry about it. It just means that we haven't had a chance to fully test it and implement it across all 44 IABC chapter sites. But then make sure that you do run a backup first. We use Backup Buddy, and so Backup Buddy should be installed on your website. Then click on the update button, check for conflicts, and revert if necessary. We can help you with that reversion process. But again, step by step, do one plugin at a time, and do one update at a time in order to minimize the possibility that something will break. Again, if you're not running the latest version of WordPress, there's probably a reason by now, because there are a few chapters that have such old themes, such old designs, that their websites would break if they were updated. So if you have that experience, and if you notice that your website is still, for example, on WordPress 2.8 or something insane, that's why, and we should talk about redesigning your site. We do have free designs that are available to you, and you can pay us to install those free designs, or you can pay us to set up a test server and let you do it yourself, or you can be that crazy maverick, you probably are, and update your website live on the fly. All of those things are completely acceptable. If you do it on your own on the fly, I would encourage you to back up often, but it's definitely possible. And please do update your software and your website. If your design is old, it's hurting you in many ways, but one of those is, of course, that we can't update all of the plugins and software for you. So after you've made that backup, make sure that you delete any unused plugins. So if you have things that are inactive, might as well get rid of them. Remove those comments, turn off comments if you're not using comments. We had one chapter in particular that had 300,000 spam comments on its site before we found them and turned it off when we picked up the hosting in 2013. So delete that, delete any old admin accounts or downgrade those people. BusyWeb admin is listed as an admin on your account. Please leave that one be, and be sure to keep the Busy monitoring plugin active. That's how we know how your website is doing, and it automatically sends us updates when you're having any issues. So if you deactivate that, we are left without any tools, and we might not be able to get into your website at all anymore. So leave Busy Monitoring active, and keep the BusyWeb admin account active as well. Don't forget that we do have a library and events listed. We're doing quarterly events now due to popular concern, and that leaves us with the final thing and wrap up, which includes some Q&A. So I wanted to get into questions and answers here now. I don't see any new questions on the site here via Google+, but we did have a couple of questions that were sent in advance as part of the registration, so thank you very much. IABC Chicago had some questions about their theme, so we'll take that offline with them. And then Nebraska sent us in a note, what's the best way for creating and filling a child theme directory? And so depending on the theme framework that you're using, for example, BusyWeb and chapter sites use costs, or use what we call the Genesis framework. And so if you're using the Genesis framework, all you need to do is have the main Genesis theme installed, and then you install a child theme right next to it. So in the same thing, you just use the theme updater, and then you install that. You can activate that theme, and then what it does is it leans on the main theme, but the styling comes from the child theme. It's kind of a weird thing. You can actually have multiple child themes and switch between those child themes. But if you get rid of the main theme behind it, your entire website's design will be goofy, or it won't work at all, because it works in tandem. It's like core set of design basics, and then the special candy or the graphics go on top in the child theme. So you literally install those next to each other. That's the main question that we had come in. And then wanted to talk to Rob Janville. And Rob, thank you for this question. What is ballpark cost of updating to a newer version of WordPress if the chapter is currently running an old, outdated design? Well, to give you an idea, Rob, if you choose either the chapter site design, which is the one that you see at chaptersite.com, and let me go to that for a second. So if you choose to use chaptersite.com's design, so I'm just going to go to chaptersite.com. If you want to use this theme, again, this is free to you to use. It's very nice. It's mobile responsive. It has a language selector on it if you wanted to use that. It's got some simple social media on it. And then what I really like about the chapter site theme is that it's got this nice little call to action on it. It's got a big orange banner that you can pull up, and that includes the details back to something. So you can say register today for bronze quill, or support today, register for the silver anvil, or whatever you wanted to connect up. And then if you don't use that, you can just drag that out and it's gone. As well, you can have posts on the bottom here, or if you're feeling more adventurous and want to go to something even sassier, Chapter Site Pro is .chaptersite.com, I believe. Chaptersitepro.chaptersite.com is the other design that we have. This is a little bit more dynamic. It has big old images on the top. And my favorite implementation of that one so far is Chicago at IABC.com. Again, this design went live very recently and looks beautiful. It's very integrated and integrative. Has event calendars built in. It's very clean and clear, and it works super, super slick. So if you'd like either Chapter Site or Chapter Site Pro, those designs are available to you for free. However, if you would like BusyWeb to complete the design for you, usually, especially if you're using Chapter Site or Chapter Site Pro, that's going to take us between 7 and 10 hours to create and update that design. So take that times $155 an hour, and you're looking at between around $1,700 or so, or right around there, or 7 to 10 hours. So between around $800 or $900 US to maybe $1,500 to get your website up and running would be the most expensive option. Again, if you would like to update to a new theme yourself, or if you have someone in your volunteer staff or a sponsor who has some web expertise, the safe way to do that is to have BusyWeb create a test server for you, a development server. That's a one-time cost of $300. And so we'll create that test server, back up your website, install your website on that server, and install that new theme. And then you can make the changes yourself and simply let us know when you're ready to go. Again, that's a one-time fee of $300. Or if you'd like to live dangerously and simply update the theme yourself, we will install that theme for you for free, and we won't charge you anything for it. The only problem is if you do happen to goof something up drastically or dramatically, it might take a little bit of our time to fix it for you in order to revert. Back up early and often if you're going to make your own changes. And it's not nearly as tough as it used to be because you can make changes live and on the fly. But that's probably in order of easiest to most advanced and most expensive to least expensive, as in free. Having BusyWeb do the whole thing, having BusyWeb install your site and the theme on a test server, and or just going crazy and installing it yourself are your three options. So I hope that gives you a good overview of what it might take to update. And thank you, Rob, for that question. If there are any other questions, we'd love to field those as well. I'm going to mark this one as done for now. And while I wait for questions, I'm just going to go through a few final things. Again, as a wrap up, BusyWeb does web design and online marketing. So if your company, if your organization needs help, we do take a portion of our proceeds from IABC generated leads, and we donate those right back to the IABC Research Foundation. Same thing goes with our online marketing programs. If you need email marketing, if you need Google AdWords help, content writing, which I doubt you're going to need, or some other online marketing related tools, we would love to help you with that. Programs based for B2B programs, B2C companies, or helping you generate existing content with your existing client base. All of that is pretty simple and easy, and starts at around $1,500 a month. Join us every Wednesday if you would. We talk about busy webinar topics every single Wednesday. Today or yesterday, we talked about using Pinterest for business. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about using Instagram. Weeks prior, we talked about LinkedIn company and showcase pages, Facebook ad demographics, and how to figure out the demographics of your market using Facebook's advertising tool as a free resource. And then social media topics and resources, including Social Media 101, 102, how to take care of all of those things. We've got an entire library inside of busyweb.com/events that you can research and review at any time. As a final thing, if you would like to have either your chapter site or your personal and or organizational website get a free search engine optimization analysis to see what you're doing well and what you could be doing better at, as well as give you a handy checklist of what to improve, just go to busyweb.com/buzz. You'll enter in your website's URL, a keyword that you would like to be found for, a competitor if you would like, your name and your email, and click scan. It takes about 45 seconds. And so inside of 2 minutes tops, you're going to get back a 10-page report that will tell you probably more than you wanted to about your website and about how you're doing in your online marketing. This is a free tool that we make available, and so would love to have you take advantage of that. If you're interested, please let me know. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BusyWeb. You can reach us at IABC@busyweb.com, or you can reach me at dave@busyweb.com, and we'll be right with you. Don't see any other questions. We have another question from David Fry. So David, thank you for getting in that question here. Is there any way to upload a directory with child theme files via FTP? And so David, there is. However, what you're going to want to focus on, generally the way child themes work is you upload them via the built-in theme uploader inside of WordPress. So you'll go into Appearance and then install a new theme. And then you would install the parent theme in the main themes folder. And then normally the way those child themes work is they go inside of the same directory as the rest of the themes. So they go next to, not inside of, the theme files. There are ways to upload via FTP. However, most child theme frameworks do not require any sort of fancy FTP-ness. And so if you're struggling with a child theme, get a hold of us and we can walk through it with you on a one-by-one basis. We can probably update that or upload it for you if you need that as a service. That's probably going to be inside of your existing service requests. We can install that for you for free. But that's usually how they work. If you do need the FTP credentials, and if you're comfortable in doing that and want to play with it, by all means, we will give you those credentials. Just email us at iabc@busyweb.com, and we will give you those credentials and make sure that you've got it. Thank you all very much. If you do have any other questions, feel free to send those in again to iabc@busyweb.com. Or if you want to go into support, you can simply go in here and log your questions that way. So you'll enter in your name, your chapter website URL, and your information, and then what you need. And whether you need help logging in, you need instruction, training, or how-tos, something's broken on your website, or you just have a question, you go ahead and post that up. Hello and welcome to Antra. And Antra had checked out, you had mentioned that you had a question about the weird bug, and Andy is working on that on the BusyWeb team. And so I wanted to make sure that you knew that we were working on that. And he'll be back in touch with you directly, as I sent that onto him as soon as we saw that from you. So we'll take care of that. And thank you very much for lodging that question. And if there are any other questions, again, feel free to get a hold of us either at chaptersite.com/support or send an email in to iabc@busyweb.com. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BusyWeb. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this IABC Webmaster webinar. And remember, at BusyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. One last reminder, be sure to get your chapter site hosting renewal in by the 15th of the month. Thanks, and have a fantastic quarter, and we'll talk to you in December. Have a great one.